All right. Can you hear me, everybody? Hello, hello. Hopefully that works. Had a few. Whoop! I hear me myself double, so I guess that works. Okay. So welcome everyone. This is gonna be the premiere, not so premiere, because if people have been around, I think you've seen already a little bit of it on Islander stream. So the idea is we're gonna be going around the little tech demo of Echoes of Extinction, which is the game Islander has been working on with his team since I think 7 or 8 months, something like that. So it's very early, but I wouldn't be showing it on my channel if I didn't think it had a pretty decent future because it looks great already. And the ideas on the table, when you look at their Trello, there's some pretty cool stuff. So hopefully that's going to be a great game. But I think they're off to a pretty good start so far. Yeah, so we're gonna jump right off the bat and go into the game. There we go. So hopefully the sound's okay also for everybody. All right. And just make sure. There we go. Okay, you can hear me?
I can, yep.
All right. And here we are in Echoes of Extinction on the beach.
Let me put that full screen. Hopefully the data isn't too bad.
Yeah, currently I'm alone, so we'll just be walking around, having a look, and just discussing some general game design ideas that you guys have. And oh well, there's a. I think that's from me when I think they're working on the save right now, so the disconnection is not fully the disconnection with the save files. They're still working on that right now, so that's my last Dino that I was connected with a few minutes ago when I was setting up some stuff. Well, that's good that we can see another little Dino here. So I'm at Juvies here. I think you've seen Adult a little bit, and we're going to be going around a little bit the map. Yeah, I mean, overall, hopefully we'll try. I'm starving, so try to find some Drio if we can, and kill it, and then try to do a little prog as we explore the island. I've seen one early on the beach, but yeah, I mean, can you just go a little bit over?
By the way.
Sorry? Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, well, that was your Dino, I guess, here.
Yeah, that was my full ground. Just something I want to mention to people is that the animations for the small guy are not done. These are actually the animations for the adult, but sped up. So if they look a bit weird, that's why.
Yeah, it's all work in progress. Huh? So I remember you showed me something on when you showed me a little bit on a demo level in private, and you showed me a bit the herding behavior of the AIs, which I thought was pretty cool already from the start. When you know where I mean, people who've been around these dinosaur games who know where the AI kind of lies in all of these games at the moment.
Right.
So I like. Can you just go a little bit over of the stuff that wasn't that? I mean, the way they actually interact in herd and things like that.
Yeah. So the AI we have right now, it's a very early build. It's very early, but at the moment, what it does is the AI they will kind of spawn in one area, and they will call out for each other. So they'll make various calls, and they will find each other and move together into a herd. And once they're in a herd, they will try stick together until you chase them. And then when you chase them, they will try flee together unless you go in the middle of them. They'll separate, obviously, run in different directions. But once you leave them again, they will call out for each other and find each other again and regroup as a herd.
Yeah,
that's basically the idea behind it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Hopefully we'll see a little bit of that walking around. It's completely here a bit unscripted, so we're just going with the flow and what we're gonna see here. But there are also Drios on this map because I've seen some earlier. They're pretty fast though. You have to.
Yeah, for the jury they're pretty fast right now, but they do run out of stamina pretty quickly. So
yeah, so
if you just keep an eye on them, you can catch them.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So and yeah, when it comes specifically to AI, because like right now we have these Drios AI, and I saw you were talking about the horseshoe crab and things like that. Like in the list of AIs coming along that you want to add, like specifically in terms of like these routines, I guess the horseshoe crab won't have a very elaborate herding behavior.
No.
But like Drill, do you have other ideas like that coming up for AIs or?
Yeah, so obviously the horseshoe crab won't have that same mentality. The horseshoe crab will be a lot simpler. But of course, we do have the galley coming around, which will have a very similar behavior as the dryer, where they will herd together. And there will be certain AI that will also herd with other AI, kind of like sticking in the vicinity. But there are other ideas that we have with AI that will change depending on the creature. But there's not much I can talk about that yet, since it's still a lot in the planning phase.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, there's not too much I can talk about with that. But yeah, we definitely have more AI planned that will hopefully people
Also,
will be able to see soon.
carnivores pack or strictly like food essentially.
For now, it's just herbivores, but there will be aggressive AI that will be carnivores, and some of them might pack. And they won't be herds, but some of them might be like two or three together.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, that's
But
good.
obviously, that will also depend on what kind of creature it is and if it makes sense balance wise, you know.
Oh, okay. Okay. And like when it comes to combats, I mean, the people who follow my channel know I'm very much. I mean, at least used to be pretty much into PvP combat in general. Like,
Yeah.
it's the like, what's your kind of like design ideas behind like the way you want to a little bit? Obviously, it's early on for balancing, but like,
Yeah.
how many special abilities per Dino, for example, we're talking about, and kind of like, do you want some like locking mechanism of controls and things like that, or not at all, like stuns effect and things like that?
Yeah, so we are right now we're planning to have two special attacks. That's other than the obviously the just the normal bite. So there'll be the bite and then two other attacks. But first we're gonna focus on the bite, and then will come the second special attack, and then will come the third. When it comes to combat, a lot of the combat comes down to the movement, of course, as you may know. The movement needs to be smooth, and we will have directional movement where wherever you're facing, your dinosaur will turn to that direction. So it's not like a big turn radius, almost like you're driving a big truck, like it is right now.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not that bad right now, but it will be a lot more smooth. But yeah, there will be things to stop, like tail riding, where you can bite behind you or whichever direction you are pretty much facing.
Yeah, that's
And
really good.
yeah, there will be sort of there will be stuns for certain creatures if they hit you hard enough. There will be pouncing, but there will always be a way to kind of combat that and get out of it. You know, it's not like
Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
stunned or pinned and that's it for you, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, all
But
batting is already a big one to get rid of tail running. That's already a big. it's,
oh yeah,
yeah.
and that's super important because tail riding is not fun in any game.
Nope. It's,
But yeah, for the special abilities, I can't talk about them too much because they're still in the talks. But the EO will have a sort of grab with its mouth, of course, not his hands. That we're busy working on. But I can't go too much into that at the moment,
all right, all
as it's
right.
still a lot in testing. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, makes sense. Okay. Oh, I see here in the background this thing. I mean, does yeah, we'll get to that. I guess later if you want to elaborate a little bit on that part because I have an idea of what that is here. This big bridge up there.
Yeah.
So also when it comes to like moving, because obviously this part here, I think you said it was done within like a month or two, like this map that
Hmm.
we're on, and then you're gonna be expanding section, which I think earlier when you guys saw it on stream, this arch here, I mean you showed me that earlier. This is basically right now you can go, but that's gonna be one of the ways you can reach the other biome on the map that is gonna be
Yeah.
expanded upon. So obviously any game that has what you're aiming for, what 100 players, 150 players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
the minimum will be 100. Yeah. Then we'll obviously try to
yeah.
expand as we go.
So like any game that has these like large maps with, I mean, they all more or less run sometimes into density problems. How do you move? How do you spread your players a bit around the map? Like, do you have already like some sort of like game design ideas of ways that you want to encourage players to not just stack in one spot and murder each other or something like that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, a good way to do that, the most basic way to do that, is obviously making the rest of the map actually interesting and worth going to. So the whole map, as you can see, is being created by hand. Like it's not just like a big paintbrush that we're just sliding across and hoping for the best. We're making each spot a specific spot for specific needs, and a lot of creatures will need to go to specific areas to get the sort of diet that they need, and there will also be temperature control. Oh,
I starved to
starved.
death. Yeah, I starved to death.
There will also be things like temperature that people will need to regulate, and there's a lot of adaptations that will come into place that will keep players constantly moving around the map, as well as to stop people from just AFK growing and stuff like that. Your creature will have a health system to it, where the more you move around, the more you fight, the more you hunt, your creature will adapt to your sort of playstyle, and so it will just become a lot healthier. So if you're just stuck in one spot growing, and you grow to adult, your creature's not going to be as healthy and have as much stamina or be as sturdy as somebody who's been actively playing.
Oh, okay,
And
yeah.
so that will also promote people moving around the map a lot more and constantly being in
Oh, okay, got it.
playing around. Yeah,
So essentially, like the way you're aiming a bit is if you're going to be AFK growing in a bush, it's just going to take forever, essentially.
it's going to take forever, and your creature, when it's grown, is not going to be as strong and healthy as somebody else's. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay, I got it.
So it's just not a good way to go about it at all. If you unless you want to be a lot physically weaker than other creatures.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, this next one is definitely a dear subject to me because I think I'm pretty known on DL for having the server that auto balance the species. Some people are gonna hate it, some people are gonna love it, but
Yeah.
that's very subjective, I guess. But like when it comes to, because essentially if you're aiming for like what 100 players at least, you said, so you're gonna, and then you have humans and multiple species. Like, do you plan to have, like, for example, for official servers, oh, I think there's a drill nearby. I heard something. But yeah, do you plan to have like some sort of locking mechanism to prevent like having a server that is like, I don't know, 85% humans or things like that, or is it gonna be, for now you're just aiming free fall and whatever happens happens?
Yeah, so there will be systems in place, especially for unofficial servers, to kind of regulate that kind of stuff the way they want to. For now, we are just doing it free for all, and we're going to be testing and see how it works out, mainly. But especially for, as I said, unofficial servers, we are going to put in a lot of systems in place where unofficial servers can kind of make their server the way they want it to be played in a certain way.
Yeah.
So if you want to put a cap on, let's say, how many humans versus dinosaurs, you're more than welcome to do that. If you want to put a cap on how many of each creature can spawn, you can do that. There'll be a lot of customization to really make every unofficial server kind of feel a little bit different, as well as balance changes and stats changes, which you will be able to do on your own server.
Okay, yeah. Well, as a server owner myself, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's what I'm hoping for, actually.
yeah. It's just to make every server feel a bit different, the way they want to play it.
Yeah,
That's basically
it
it.
can make a big difference. Just some small changes that you allow servers to do, and it can really change the game experience for everybody.
Exactly.
And oh, I think no. Did I start on that one? What? I'm not sure. I think I started to that again. And when it comes to like human and I was reading through the Trello a little bit of the stuff's plan, and when it comes to specifically to like the interaction between humans and dino, because humans are essentially primitives. Now we're not talking about, for the people who are not aware of the game now, it's purely primitive from my understanding. So it's gonna be bow, arrows, spears, whatever,
Hmm.
these type of stuff. So, but essentially, like as a in your game design mechanics, essentially, that you're going to be building, like what's the relationship or the interactions between dinosaurs, like playable dinosaurs and players, humans? Like, are they just like basically living their own life in the same world, and sometimes one hunts the other, or is there like
Right.
actual encourage also extra interactions?
Yeah, so the plan right now is that the tribal humans and the dinosaur players, they don't really have much interaction other than coexisting in the world. My idea behind it was that I didn't really like players collaborating in that way because it makes a lot of issues with balancing. But of course, as I said, on unofficial servers, that might be a setting that can be changed if some people do enjoy that. But on the official servers, um, player humans and player dinosaurs will not really be able to interact with each other in that kind of way. Obviously, they will be able to attack each other because they're coexisting in the same world. But there will be no specific interactions other than, let's say, the dinosaur, because they will defecate. I don't know what this respawn problem is, but yeah, this
I think it's
this is a very
I think it's in a slope. I think you have like some dead issues when you're going downhill as a Jew. I think I'm not too sure. I mean, it seems like it.
yeah, it seems like it. But yeah, this is a very early build. We already have a new build after this one that fixes a lot of these issues. But yeah, the with the player interaction, we want to keep it so that tribals will feel a sort of anxiety debuff around other dinosaurs, depending on what they are. But the tribals can always have AI as dinosaurs that they can tame and look after. And so that will be their way of maybe getting around or attacking or having a chance against other dinosaurs around the map. But
All
yeah,
right.
for player to player, there isn't too much interaction, at least on on the official servers.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's pretty good. So essentially, you live your life, and once in a while, or you bump into some big scary dino, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's the horror aspect to it, I guess. Where you'll be because players will be able to, or player tribes will be able to raid each other, and there'll be PvP between them,
Yeah, I think.
and yeah, that's very weird.
You wanna give a server restart a go, or because I
Yeah,
didn't have
I'll do
this
that.
problem earlier. Yeah. Okay, then I'll just kill the game and start again. These things happens.
But yeah, players will be able to kind of raid each other, and they just be coexisting in the same world, pretty much.
All right. And for humans
So
specifically,
restart.
you're aiming
But yeah,
for.
this is a very early build. This is not the tech demo yet. What we are showcasing right now. So obviously, all these problems will be fixed by the time we release the tech demo. Okay, let's get that out.
Check the chat. I haven't even checked the chat at all, no. Hello everybody. I think. Yeah, there's. I didn't have this problem before. I don't know. There's something killing that Jewies, but I guess this is just a dumb bug somehow. No, the UI.
Okay, just
Everything you
restart your
see here
game.
is placeholder. Like the. Yeah, sure. So, I can join in, or still a few seconds.
You just restart your game and it should be okay.
All right, I just did. I'll just join again. Well, while this is loading, so and regarding to the humans, you're aiming for first person or third person or both, or like a server settings where you can choose.
Yeah, so for the humans, we're aiming for first person for the official servers. And they might be a third person just to kind of check your character out, but it won't be like a playable third person. But on our unofficial servers, we might allow for them to decide whether they want third person gameplay or first person gameplay. But for unofficial, to kind of create that feel of the horror survival, we will only allow first person.
Okay. Let me check
Wait,
this.
did you restart? Did you
Yeah.
restart your game?
Yeah, I did. Hold on. I'll do it again. Let's see if it let me spawn again. Just give it a go. Let you start again. I can try with the human though. If it doesn't let me, there's a problem with the juvie spawn for some reason though. Wait, I didn't have that problem before when I tested it, so I'll get if AO another go. If it doesn't spawn me, then I'll just spawn as a human, I guess. You did restart the server, right?
Yeah, let me do it again.
Okay.
But yeah, this is a very early build. This is why.
If you have a save, because the devs were, I mean, your programmers were working on the save stuff. Huh? Can you maybe delete the save file?
Yeah, that might be
help.
it.
Before, like, delete the save file and restart it, and then I guess I will have. I mean, this is what happens when you do a tech demo.
Yeah,
Check with the
I'm
chat.
getting them to restart it quick.
Join how many in this game? I mean, currently they're working on the basics, so it's just gonna be one for now, and then in the end, I don't know how many. Salut, Madame Jackie. And this is going well. Well, these things happen. I tried to build for like half an hour before, 45 minutes before, and it was fine. I don't know what happened this time.
Yeah.
I can actually send the Discord. Wait, let me put. I'm gonna follow the developer. Also, you can wish list it on Steam, I think. Actually, no, I think you can. It is wish listable on Steam.
Yeah, it is. Someone said only Io Kokari and Human are playable. Yeah, so only the creature that you see him playing as and the human are playable at the moment for the tech demo. But the tech demo will be updated as we go, all the way up to early access release. But there will be about 30 to 40 creatures on the official finished game, not on the early access release. On the early access release, there'll be about 4 dinosaur playables and obviously the tribal, which will have actual mechanics to it.
So
The tech demo is the very basic, just to show off the foundation pretty much. So it's just one playable on each side.
So you did you restart the server now? I'm gonna reboot the game now.
Yeah, it should be up.
All right. And you deleted my saver. So let's see what happens. Doesn't work. I'll spawn as a human. All right. Echo.
But yeah, everything runs smooth until you go live, right?
Oh, that's the the story of
God.
any online product. I'll tell you, it's not just gaming.
But yeah, worst case to worst, I can just share my screen.
Yeah, I
and
guess.
I can actually show them some new stuff on the dev build.
Yep, sure. Just do the. I mean, I was just walking around anyway. It's more of a support for discussions. I'll try again.
Let me
Okay,
let
you
me
do.
let me try
Okay,
training.
Okay, that.
Maybe reset the file.
Okay. I killed the game. Yeah, so I guess I'll just share. You can share your screen, and then I'll just
Yeah.
capture. Is this really early development as expected? Yeah, I mean that's 340 now. It seems excellent. So, I mean, well, do you do this? Yeah, I think we spoke about this at some point. So, like the ways, like for example, earlier in the stream, we were showing. I showed this big arc where this is like map's gonna expand, and obviously, I guess you're gonna run into issues because humans are basically. I think something similar to Rust or something that you're planning to do in terms of like base building, like you can do foundation
Yeah.
and things like that. So obviously comes the issue of griefing. If you if you have humans who can build stuff and then they can block off entire areas of the map, I guess you're gonna have like zones that you cannot build and things like that, and the safe areas or whatever. Like for example, this big arch, you could just go there and build a wall of Minas Tirith and just be like, that's my zone
block
now.
it off completely.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
Now, I'll actually be able to show you a lot better from my stream because I'll go in the actual build and I can fly around a bit and show you.
Oh yeah, actually, it's probably better this way. Yeah. So if you share your screen, then I'll go on it, and then I'll do a full screen on it, and I think it should be fine.
Yeah, I'll just let it load. But yeah, there will be safe zones and areas that will be prohibited for players to build in. just to kind of prevent that from happening. And yeah, so it's just so that players can't just block off entire areas for themselves. But also another thing to keep in mind is that when players build things, there will be a decay on it, and they will have to upkeep the base so that to prevent the decay from completely demolishing their base. And the more you build in that area, the harder it is to upkeep.
Yeah.
So it stops players from getting just too big, the base is just getting massive.
Yeah. And like for example, if you die as a human, like I know it's full loot PvP, so your loot that was on you is gonna stay there, and anybody can take it except dinosaurs. I guess they can eat it, but like when you die, except for your loot that you have on you, like is there stuff that is it completely wiped off, or you have like stuff that persists through that, like skills
No,
or?
as a tribal, oh yeah, so skills, yes. Anything but loot, pretty much,
Oh,
will
okay.
stay on your character. But when you die, you will lose everything you have in your inventory and on your character, like armor and clothing and stuff, which you can go collect again, of course,
Yeah.
if it's still there. If a player kills you, though, they can loot your body. But normally, if you die to a dinosaur, they're not really gonna loot you. So if you die to a dinosaur, your stuff will remain in the area for you to go loot.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, you'll respawn at a respawn area that you have set. So usually it will be like in your base, for instance.
Like some bed or something that you're building.
Exactly. And yeah, and the cycle continues. But yeah, you won't lose any of your stats because that'd be a bit too much because they will be a bit of a grind for you to get those stats up, especially doing like simple questing and just surviving around the map, doing farming and crafting and blacksmithing and a whole bunch of other skills that you'll be able to work on. And those you will keep throughout until the server obviously gets wiped, which will be, for now, we're planning for it to be monthly. But that's obviously a thing that unofficials can do whenever they want.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you'll have different save files that you can like just wipe the skills or wipe the
Mhm.
wipe the
Yeah,
wipe the structures and things like that. Oh.
exactly.
And like when it comes specifically to humans, like I read on your Trello that you're planning to have factions. So, but I mean not faction, but tribes. So are the tribes like acting as factions, or just like a basically it's a human and it's a free fall essentially, and then your tribes just gives you different bonus stats and skin or things like that, or are you actually in a faction when you?
It would be more like a faction. Yeah, it's like a group.
Oh, okay, and it's
Um, y-
oh yeah, sorry, go
yeah.
ahead.
So, well, so, wait. So, just to understand your question, you're talking about when players group up together to create a tribe, or are you talking about the actual tribes in the game,
Yeah, the actual tribes,
like
because
the
I was reading on the trail that you're planning to spread the your humans into different tribes. I
okay,
was
yeah, yeah,
wondering if
yeah.
that acts as an actual faction where you're like at wars with the others, or if it's something.
Yes, yes. So there is a whole lore to it.
Hmm.
That will explain this a lot better once we do release the
Hmm.
lore. But basically, these tribes, a lot of them will be at war because they will follow a different god. And so, as you're going around the map, as you're doing quests and whatnot, you will kind of learn why they're at war and who's at war with who.
Hmm.
And they all will have different skill sets that they're better at, where you can go advance your skills at too.
Okay.
But yeah, so they will be very separate on different sides of the map, acting as their own tribes with their own cultures and their own thing going, basically.
Oh, okay, okay. And for the human skills, like I know you have like fishing and things like that. So it's things you
Mhm.
level up as you do them in game, essentially.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's passive leveling. Yeah.
And you don't have a limit to like you could basically in theory max out every skill, I guess. Or
So,
on a single one, I guess.
um, so there will be a base level where you can max it out, and then there will be a way for you to master certain skills. At the moment, we're aiming for you to be able to master 2 skills at most,
Oh, okay.
where you'll be able to craft items that will have better stats or they'll have better durability, and certain items will only be able to be crafted by Um,
The masters.
people who have mastered those skills, yeah. So that helps with the whole tribe, where people will be able to all have mastered different skills and work together to kind of create a good community. But for solo players, we do have the safe zones where you'll be able to trade certain things. So if you're really good at something, someone else is good at something else, you'll go to these markets in the safe zones where you can trade your item for something of equal value.
Okay, I mean that's pretty cool. At least the thing that you're forced to choose some masteries, and that so that like
Mhm.
in a way you have to, if you want the best stuff, you have to kind of like be on your tribe and stuff.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's just you will be able to do all the base stuff at
Mhm.
the end of the day. It's not like we're gonna lock you from being able to heal if you're not good at healing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just if you master it, it would just be a lot better, basically.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna have like say like I mean that's the thing I wanted to show with the big wooden stone bridge essentially. So you're gonna have like certain safe area that are only accessible to humans, where they can go
Hmm.
and not get murdered there necessarily, with some like
Exactly.
some sort of built-in system to protect them. Okay, well, that's
Yeah. So we will have safe areas where there will be no combat in there. You'll be physically unable to do combat in there, and if you do fight from a distance, let's say you're shooting arrows into there, you will be considered hostile for a certain amount of time.
does it work for your for the share screen, or you're having the same problem as well with the server now?
No, I'm just loading up the build right now.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, okay, okay, because
I'll show you what screen
okay, you're switching branch now.
Yeah.
Okay, then no worries. And I read there was, I mean, I read about taming a bit, and so that's I think it's pretty clear that you're not going to be taming humans, because that's something that comes up quite often. I think in the comments, or maybe I got it wrong, but my understanding is that you're not going to be taming players, Dino players, but you're going to be able to tame humans. But can you like
Yeah.
elaborate a bit on what you guys plan to do with the taming? Was it like a Pokemon side thing a bit first?
No, so basically, when it comes to taming, it's a little bit different to what people might be used to. When you tame a creature, you actually have to go around the world and look for AI herds or just AI that are just living their life around the map, and sometimes they will nest. And so when they do end up nesting, you can go up to the nest and you will steal an egg. Now, depending on what creature it is, some might be a bit aggressive and some might not. But you would take the egg from them and you will raise it to kind of be your own. And if you do that, there's a chance that you obviously get a rare skin from the
Oh,
egg, but also the creature will be a lot more um, tame, basically. So there's two different ways. There's the egg stealing, and then there's grabbing a juvenile.
mm-hmm.
So you'll be able to bowler and grab a juvenile as well, but the juveniles won't be as loyal to you as if you raised your own,
From
which
an
will
egg,
then
yeah.
follow you around.
Okay, okay,
Exactly. Yeah.
okay.
So those are the different ways. The juvenile, if you grab it and you grow it as your own, it might wander off every now and then if you're not always careful, basically. But the hatchling will see you as its parent, so
Yeah, yeah,
it
okay.
will stick to you.
And these things like what's the longevity? I mean, I guess there's like a set amount of how many pets you can have in game and stuff like that. Like do like
Yeah, at the
once you
moment we
tame
haven't
something.
figured out the cap.
Okay.
We haven't really figured out the cap, but we will have a sort of like a stable where you can store things so they're not constantly just on the map.
Mm. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, here's
Yeah.
your thing. Okay, so I'll go on your stream and then I'll be. Let me do a full screen on that. I don't.
So this is on
Uh,
the engine.
Wait, hold on. I just have to configure our buddy OBS here. 2 seconds so that people can see. Okay, and then I can do a hide member. Whoops. All right, so I think we're in business. Check my stream. All right, there we go.
All right, so this will be a little bit of a better showcase. Keep in mind, this is in engine, so Unreal Engine is always a bit finicky. But yeah, so as you were talking, this is the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And this will be the human area where the village will be over here. We have our first little building, and I'll show you a bit what this building is. But here will be the big safe zone, one of the main major villages. And this will be the bridge that people will cross from this side. We do have the whole map, but it is grayed out right now because we're building section by section. But basically, people will be able to come from here, and they will be stopped here by a gate and a guard tower. And if you're not hostile, you can come in, and the AI won't attack you, and you'll make your way all the way to the village where you'll be able to trade and do your thing and accept quests. And each tribe will have a sort of section like this around the map, basically.
Okay. That's when we said like that was like a month because you have a dedicated level designer, right? So this square
Yeah.
here that we're saying it's about a month of work or a month and a half or something.
Yeah, pretty much about a month and a half of work here. He's
Okay.
been working every day on this map, so it's
Okay.
progressing fairly fast.
Okay. And then as you
But-
go like the stone bridge we're seeing earlier, where that was the one of the two connections, not this one. The one connect.
this one,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's the thing
Yeah.
we saw earlier. So this
Yeah.
is gonna be the entrance to the next biome.
Correct. So this will be the one entrance, and then the other one will be over here.
Okay.
And then that will lead to further biomes that way and the big beach. But yeah, so there's planned to be redwood over here. This will be a redwood.
Mhm.
This will be a swampy area, which you'll be able to have access from this entrance here as well. Then this will be more jungle. There'll be a big swamp over there with the meadows, and here will be the desert with the volcano at the top.
And if you zoom out, like to get a scale a little bit of the, so we're talking a pretty decent size map in the end.
Yeah, pretty decent size, yeah.
And in your Trello, there's a mention when you go under human. I saw there was breeding, but I wasn't too sure if it was dinosaur breeding or human breeding.
No,
so...
yeah, no. The breeding for the humans was so we had an idea basically where we were going to maybe have humans babies grow up, but we kind of scrapped that idea because we didn't really want babies to be dying in a survival environment. I think it would be a little bit too cruel.
Well, any publicity is good publicity. So, but yeah, okay, I get what you mean. So maybe
in some way.
Well, I mean, I wasn't too sure if it meant dinosaur breeding at first. I was like, oh, maybe you can breed your tame dinos or something like that.
Oh yeah, for tame dinos, you will be able to breed them.
Okay.
So because obviously there's animal husbandry, so you'll be able to get like, let's say you have dryers, right? You'll be able to get a bunch of dryers and put them in a pen and breed them because you will actually need them not only for food but for sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
And sacrifices, you'll bring them to a sacrifice table basically.
Mm-hmm.
And you will be able to, of course, sacrifice them. And what it would do is actually keep the upkeep on your base. So that's how you will please the gods to make sure that your base doesn't decay over time. And the bigger your base, the more upkeep you will need. And so the bigger creatures you will need, and the more creatures you will need. So that's kind of what will keep the players at bay for a while.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that's what you meant earlier, right? Because it's not this good old-fashioned, like, oh no, this wood panel is about to break, and then you have to go and put wood in it. It's you're not doing anything.
No.
Okay.
No, it's more of like you need to make sure that you please the gods so they look after your base. Of course, there will be base damage that will happen. And that you can repair normally. And well, I mean, if there's decay from the base, you can always go repair it yourself, but it will keep decaying. So if you keep up the upkeep, it will stop it from decaying basically, so that you don't always have to go repair every single wall. That's the idea behind it.
Okay. And in terms of like materials, like we just spoke about that not long ago. Like basically the way you want to avoid to like dinos griefing essentially like is by upgrading your material. There's a point at some point that dinos just can't do anything to like to your stone base or whatever it is. So.
Yeah, so that's basically it, right? So there's going to be a wooden. You'll start with a wooden base, and you'll work your way up to stone and the harder materials, and then creatures like dinosaurs will only be able to really destroy the wood. They'll be able to damage your wood, but once you move up to stone and whatnot, then they won't be able to destroy your base anymore. But there will be other ways for you to defend your base, like walls and also some sort of scents that you'll be able to use to keep dinosaurs away.
Oh yeah.
Just make the map load quick. There we go. And yeah, so there will be various measures for you to keep your dinosaurs away from your base. In the beginning, it's going to be a lot harder than it will eventually once you build more fortifications, of course. But that's kind of the challenge, right? Starting out is always going to be a little bit more difficult than it is when you get later stages. But yeah, here we have the adult model.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll scream a little bit for the people who never seen it.
Yeah. There you go. Should be full screen now.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I meant a scream. Maybe that's my French accent there. There you go. It's like there you go, full screen. Oh, the animations are nice. And in terms of like, if you like, because I mean, there's this crowd that obviously there will be servers that will be dinos only, right? Like in terms of like mechanics that you to keep like, other than like growing, bleeding, like the basic combat stuff, but like for example, like the diet system. I think you're also planning some sort of diets. Like, do you have like any example of what you're aiming for in terms of like gameplay loops that could keep dinosaur player like engaged and moving? And
yeah, so as we spoke about earlier, there's not too much I can go into on this topic, but as we spoke about earlier, there will be adaptations, and also the dinosaur will adapt to your sort of play style. So making sure that you're always active, and depending on where you grow up, your character might change a little customization wise. And it will build like resistance to certain areas. So let's say for instance, say I'm one of the crocs, right? And I live mostly in the ocean. You will build and adapt to being in the ocean, in the salt water. So you won't need to go to the freshwater. But someone who was more likely to be, or who grew up in the freshwater, will not be able to go into the salt water for as long. But there will be certain adaptations like that will keep people going around the map and is sticking to certain areas, as well as diets, which will be locked to certain zones. So it will keep creatures in the right areas. Of course, you can explore and go wherever you want at the end of the day.
yeah,
But that's where you will be the most comfortable, and it will be the optimal environment for your creature, basically.
yeah. Okay.
So whenever you're looking for your diet, you know where to go, because those creatures will be there in those areas.
Oh, that's good. And that's the like one thing that comes often. The I did some shorts about the game already, and one question that comes a lot is whether it's on the comments or on my Discord. It's the semi-aquatics. So you guys are planning some sort of aquatics, a little bit gameplay or semi-aquatics lifestyle for some dinos, right?
Yeah. So there will be they are going to be semi-aquatics. We haven't decided yet on aquatics though, because that becomes a whole different game style, right? It's a whole different world when you have just aquatics. That means you have to fill up all the oceans and whatnot. So at the moment, but there will be semi-aquatics and there will be flyable creatures too. When it comes to semi-aquatics, though, we will have a lot more. There'll be a lot less restrictions for them to be stuck around the map. So let's say, for instance, every pond and every river will be connected on the map for creatures to be able to move around freely. And some ponds, even if they're not connected to a river, there'll be an underground river system.
Oh, okay.
Where they can then travel to different locations.
Okay, got it.
And so there's going to be a lot of like underground caves, pretty much.
Was it like? Is it like an actual
like tunnel systems?
Okay, so it's a sort of like a quick travel type of stuff, all right? Or it's an
No,
actual
no.
underground caves. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, cool. Do you have the pulley thing in this build, or it's something for for later?
The what?
The way that humans will switch between biomes between this crater
Oh,
biome.
so okay. Let's see quick. I'm not sure if it's in this build.
Yeah, I don't know which build. Oh, yeah. So the humans will have like essentially in the village, they will have a safe way to
A safe way to get up, yeah,
between the. Okay,
pretty
okay.
much. So there will be an entrance here. At the moment, it's a bit tall, but there will be a way to get up here, and then they will go all the way here to the pulley system.
And then you said the way you want to keep like people from camping the entrance of these safe spots is basically having some sort of like NPC archers or something defending the place.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So they'll be set up in watchtowers, which would be a lot very difficult for players to get to.
yeah, that's cool.
And yeah, they'll be the guards of the area.
Oh, we have Isaac here. The is asking, is there an end game goal like Elders from Beast of Bermuda or DL plan for the Dinos?
Yeah, so when it comes to that, we haven't fully decided at the moment where we want to lead, but there will be a sort of end game where players can. It will be a sort of like an elder system, I suppose, where players will be able to decide to retire their creature for certain buffs in their next life, basically, and they will have things to show basically in their next life on if they grew something to adult and they fought these many things, they will unlock certain customizations in their next life that they'll be able to put on their creature, which will show that they're kind of like more of a veteran rather than someone who's just starting out.
Mm.
So there will be ways for you to show that, hey, um, I did grow a dinosaur and survive for like 3 weeks,
Oh yeah.
rather than just yeah. So there will be a lot of customizations and things like that, and also just exploring the map in general. You will unlock there'll be like Easter eggs and things like that where you can unlock certain patterns and you unlock certain customizations by just playing the game,
Okay.
basically, which will obviously make it so that people will want to interact with each other, people will want to fight, people want to explore different areas of the map because they will want to unlock all the different kind of customizations they can get for each creature, basically. And each creature will have their own set.
Yeah, yeah. And when it comes specifically, it's just something that popped in my mind now. But maybe it's too early to think really into that detail. But like, obviously, revenge killing is a problem when you have any of these sort of full loot PvP games. Like per server, or like, are you planning to allow like let's say I have a human on the server that has some decent gear and the base build and stuff. I cannot play a dino on that server, can I?
So they will. We haven't really decided too much into that at the moment. It's very early to be thinking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
any of
yeah.
that, but you will be able to swap between. As of now, you will be able to swap between dinosaur and tribal.
Okay.
But there might be like a sort of cooldown, or there might be an area lock where you can't respawn as that, just to like come back, kill that, and then log out again.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
we will find ways to make sure that there is no combat logging. But I can't really talk about this too much. It's a bit too early to really
Yeah, yeah, of course.
think about that right now. Yeah.
Well, that sounds also like a fun community server settings too. Can you
Oh
do that
yeah,
or
for
not?
sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that would be, as I said, being a community server owner myself, I do want to give the possibility for community servers to kind of tailor the game the way they want it
Mm-hmm.
and to change these sort of settings themselves so that, again, every server, every community server feels a little bit different. You're not just playing the same game on every server, just different owners, for instance.
Yeah, yeah, that makes
I
sense.
want to give a lot of, yeah, so people will be able to customize their server the way they want it.
And like when it comes specifically to community service, or like obviously you're gonna have term of services, but are you like planning to have some sort of like officially endorsed servers, or it's just gonna be how all the servers in the world have at it, or something like that? Like, do you already see all this will work out, or?
Wait, ask that question again. Sorry.
Like let's say I think there are a few games that have this. Like basically, you have like vetted community servers where they strictly enforce that they follow a certain guideline, and then they get to show up either with a different color or in a different list or whatever. Or
Or like more official, unofficial, like
yeah,
verified.
kind of like they have to abide by a certain like chart of rules and guidelines, and like when it comes to
Yeah,
pay
yeah,
to
yeah.
win and these type of stuff.
Right. Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, so there will be more of official, unofficial servers, if you want to call it that, that the bigger communities will be able to kind of verify themselves. And they will have to abide by certain guidelines, of course. When it comes to customization, though, with the actual server, that won't be a problem. They'll be able to still customize the way they want. I mean, at the end of the day, we gave them the option to do that. So it means it's okay with us. But they will have to follow certain rules because they will be representing our game in a way.
Yeah, that makes sense. And
Yeah.
like,
That would be more like terms of service things, though, like
yeah,
not really gameplay.
yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, these
Yeah.
things usually are, yeah. And then you can delist servers who don't abide by it, I guess.
Yeah.
And when it comes to like stuff that have to do with community, I guess like I mean, you run a Path of Titans server and you run a RL server, so you know the
Yeah.
kind of stuff that is possible. I mean, I do too. I do also. So we both know the pains that sometimes you go through these things. So
Yeah.
when it comes to like extracting data or things like, are you planning to have like some? It's too early for the exact details, I guess, technical details. But you're planning to have like your game servers essentially like outputting data out there that people can use them, or like webhooks or whatever for server events and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Of course.
Oh, that's good.
It's because it's going to get quite in depth, so we'll have to do something like that for sure.
Yeah, so then, but also we can build bots around it and things like that.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I myself, as well as you said, run servers, and I have tons of bots, so kind of
Yeah.
bot customization will be quite easily integrated into servers for
Mm-hmm.
people who have that kind of experience.
Cool. And another one that is often forgotten, but I mean, I saw you already started a little bit with in the Discord. There's already community managers of languages and things like that. Because especially in the indie game scene, the other languages, even large languages, very popular ones, are often very forgotten. So
Yeah.
you're planning to localize kind of early on the game, or
Yeah, so we're going to go with some of the major languages. We're going to start with that, and we're going to make sure that the game is translated and ready. We're going to be starting with French, actually, because we already have a French community manager. But for each of the major languages, we will have a community manager that will be able to assist everybody the way they need to. So yeah, whether it's server owners or players, they'll be able to assist them so that we can make sure that nobody feels left out
yeah, that's
when
awesome.
it comes to running or playing the game at all.
Yeah, I think right now you are, officially in your Discord. What you have right now? You have Portuguese, French, German,
Yeah,
Polish.
Portuguese, French, German, Polish. Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
much the main ones we have
sorry, a
right
good
now.
start. Spanish also, I think.
Yeah, and yeah, we had the Spanish yesterday.
Oh, that's pretty good. I think a lot of people will be happy with that. But
Yeah, no, of course. And so we're just looking for community managers now to kind of run those communities to make sure that everyone knows what's going on and there's no mistranslations, because that's a big problem. I feel like mistranslations in games where rumors might spread from that. So we want to make sure that everyone knows what's going on and nobody feels left out, basically.
that's good. And we have Space Fungi here asking which. I mean, that's a loaded question, but when is this coming out? So, are you going to be one of those that don't venture into ATA, or I mean, any answer is good because it's
Yeah.
pretty
So
difficult.
yeah, so keep in mind that this game has only been developing now for about 8 months, so it's still very, very early. What we have right now, it's why there's still a couple bugs here and there. It's because it's very, very early, right? So coming up with an ETA for the official release of the game is extremely difficult, and I don't want to give an ETA for something that then needs to be changed and get people's hopes up, basically. So I'd rather not give ETAs and that kind of thing. But the tech demo, as you guys can see, the game is mostly playable. other than the issues that we're having earlier. But we already have a new build that fixed all that. But we are constantly updating. We're constantly fixing this tech demo. The tech demo should be playable in the next week or so for all our Patreons and content creators. It should be hopefully the next week plus 2 weeks, and we'll fix every single bug that we find so far. But when it comes to early access, I can't really say. I'd rather not give ETAs on that kind of thing because I wouldn't know myself, you know. At the moment, we are going pretty quick, though. We're developing pretty quick. I mean, this is everything here. Oh, when it comes to looking at the map, everything was done in the last month or so. But when it comes to mechanics, we started in early September of last year. So it's been around about 8 months now.
Oh, there's a trio. Kill
So,
it. Sorry.
yeah, it's gonna be stuck.
Oh, well.
But yeah, so it's progressing really fast. So you could expect it. I don't know. I actually don't want to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. You don't have to. I just brought it up in case. And I mean, there's Isaac that is mentioned. Something we mentioned earlier that not allowing to build everywhere. That's I brought it up earlier and it's already addressed, but there will be essentially areas that are unbuildable and safe areas where you can build. Yeah. So like zone choke points, people won't be able to wall it off and things like that.
Correct.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty. We're off to a pretty good start here. I think that's. I mean, from my end, that covers it pretty much. I don't know if there's any special goodies you'd like to show to the people on the stream. The 100 people on the stream right now. Or
there's nothing new that I can really show. There is stuff on the new dev build that I would have to update for that. So it might take a little bit.
Another time then. So.
Yeah, for sure. But there will be definitely more streams, and especially on your channel, we'll definitely come showcase some more things.
Yeah, sure. That sounds good.
And as the tech demo progresses, I mean, you'll also have access to the tech demo, so you'll be able to play and showcase it yourself as well.
Yeah, I'll
be happy to come on and answer more questions.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But just people often ask about the platforms it will be on. Right now, we're focusing on Steam and PC. Eventually, we might look into console. Further in the future, we might look into console. Mobile is very unlikely. I don't think it will be coming to mobile.
Please don't.
It might be coming. Yeah, it might be coming to like PS4 and Xbox and that kind of thing in the future. But we'll have to see about that.
That's a long time. that's a long time ahead. Years down the line.
It's very far away. Yeah. For now, we're just focusing on the PC as a foundation, and then we'll move on. But yeah, for the tech demo, I saw someone ask as well. The first playable will obviously be the Iokarkaria and the Tribal Human. And then eventually, as we update the tech demo, there will be another playable, which will be the Uranosaurus, which is coming pretty soon. It's busy in development right now.
That's a herbivore, right?
Created. Yeah, that is a herbivore.
Okay.
Which will stick mostly to swampy areas. Right now, we don't have... We will build a kind of jungle swamp in this cove. So that's a future plan, where the river... Here, there's basically a waterfall. It's on one of the builds that I showed you.
Yeah, I've seen it in a different build. So
it's
not lying. I've seen
it. And this will be the lake, and there'll be a river that kind of flows. I can actually show you so I can fly around. But there will be a river that sort of flows from here that will come to this section, and there will be a sort of pond in this area. And but the river will be kind of submerged a little, and there'll be trees that will be in the river. So it won't be a very deep river, but then the pond will be a lot deeper again. There'll be a sort of swampy area, but it's not quite swamp. It's more of like a wetlands jungle. But that will be for the Uranosaurus.
And when it comes to herbivores, so they're gonna have like some, like how do you plan to do a little bit their food system essentially? Like they're gonna have like specific plants per species spawning around, or?
Yeah, so depending on the species, they will have specific plants that they'll have to eat. Like for instance, the Uranosaurus is going to stick to a lot of water plants. So a lot of shallow waters, like shallow rivers and whatnot, will have plants that will grow at the bottom of them. and that's what the Aranosaurus will be feeding on. There will be certain other plants that it might feed on that will be around the map as well that will make them travel, basically, like berries and stuff like that. There will be different salts and minerals that they will need from various other rocks, maybe like salt rocks, those kind of things that they'll need to maintain their diet too every now and then. But every herbivore will require different needs, pretty much, and require to a different play style. But the diet system, I cannot go into too much because it hasn't been fully confirmed yet, and I don't want to say anything that then changes too much down the line, pretty much.
Okay.
But
Okay.
for the Aranosaurus, what I said is pretty much confirmed at that point.
Okay, that's cool.
It will be feeding mostly on the river plants.
And when you said earlier the early access, the moment you want to actually launch this in early access that people can purchase on Steam and not just wish this is that's the update 1, or is that the update following that?
Yeah, so that'll be the first update.
Okay,
The first official update. Yeah.
Okay.
Because yeah, that'll be into the early access stage. Right now, the tech demo is just its own thing.
But on the Trello, that will correspond to like update 1.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And the early access will release with 4 playables. The 2 playables have not fully. I don't think we fully confirmed them. But right now we're leaning more towards the Acula beta.
Okay.
And
yeah, can you go a little bit over the upcoming next few dinosaurs that that's set on, because for people like me who don't know them too much, or people who just discovered your game in the stream now.
Yeah, so we're trying to go for dinosaurs that haven't really seen the spotlight too much. So you'll likely notice that there'll be creatures that you may not have seen in other games or may not even heard of. I know I hadn't heard of most of these creatures until they got brought up to me. But basically, the first couple playables will be obviously the Eocarcharia, which you guys have seen. It will be the Uranosaurus, and then it'll be the Aculobeta, and then it will likely be the Chasmosaurus, which is a sort of it looks a bit like a trike, basically, but it's a lot smaller. They'll each have different play styles. In the beginning, we're going to be releasing creatures that will have very different play styles, just so we can get the coding and the mechanics for those right, so that releasing other playables that will be similar in a sort of way will be a lot faster. So we're trying to get the base mechanics for every sort of mechanic we can have in the game. There will be flyers eventually, not too long after that, and semi-aquatics, so we get that done as well. But yeah, when it comes to the Acula beta, it's obviously will play a lot like a raptor. It will have a pounce. It will be a lot of a bleeder. It'll be very quick too. And but when it comes to playstyle for those, I cannot really go too much into it as we're still working on those 2 other creatures. Yeah. But for the Aranosaurus and the Eocarcharia, that's pretty much what we have at the moment.
And if you will go back up and show the map now that you're working on that, like now you have this squarish peninsula crater, whatever, like more of a crater.
Yeah.
So, like, let's say you check around, like, for the Steam release version, the early access update 1, how big you kind of aiming it to have by then?
No, the early access will have the whole map.
Oh, the whole map. Okay, I wasn't too sure if every biome. All right.
Yeah. No. The early access will have the whole map finished.
Okay.
The tech demo will slowly push new areas. It won't be the whole map won't be like fully complete. Like it's not like that's done and done, but it will be all playable, and things will change as we go. You know, certain areas we'll touch up on and change as we go. But all the biomes will be there for you to get an idea.
And for example, like when it comes to like clothing and things like that, like for humans specifically, like because I know you're planning a snow biome, like mountain or something. So like I guess naked human won't be able to venture into some biomes, no? Or is that doesn't matter?
So no, it will matter. Yeah, there will be a temperature system where clothing will help you survive in certain temperatures. So if you're a naked human and you're just going into a cold area, you're going to slowly start dying and freezing to death, which will make sure that you have to then craft the right clothing for the right environment, which will also come into play when it comes to raiding and stuff. There'll be different armors. Some armors will be just normal plate armor. Some will have more fur on them, just to make sure that if you're raiding in a cold area, that your character is prepared for that area. So there will be preparations for those kind of things and raiding and stuff, depending on what kind of base you're raiding, and you got to make sure that you are prepared for not only the raid and the creatures that might live there, but also the environmental changes like temperature.
And does that also? I guess that doesn't apply to dinos. They can go wherever they need to, right?
Yeah, so most dinosaurs will be able to. Well, they'll have a lot of a higher resistance to certain areas.
Yeah.
But more though, if like I grow up more in the desert area, which will be over here, if I grow up here more, I'll be more resistant to the hotter environments. That doesn't mean that I can't go to the cold environments or that the cold environments creatures can't come here. It's just that they will be a lot more comfortable in those certain temperatures.
So
That's
in,
basically it.
in a way, for certain things, a bit like higher level areas, right? So like, if you're in the snow region, you're most likely gonna bump into geared up players in terms of humans.
It will likely play out like that
Yeah. Okay.
because of the structure, yeah. So because you have to be a bit more advanced to kind of be in the snow areas or in the really hot areas. And so most players will be spawning on the beaches of the tropical areas and the swampy marshlands because they're a lot more tame, I suppose. And you will work your way up to the middle of the map where things will get a lot more challenging for you.
Oh, that's an interesting question here. Once it's in the early access, how often do you plan to update in an ideal situation? Like, yeah, what kind of patch release schedules once you're in early access and it's out? Are you guys
Yeah, I
aiming for?
mean, it's difficult to say right now, right? It's difficult to really say
Yeah,
how often we will release, but we want to plan to release updates, especially if they're so there'll be patches and then there'll be updates, right? So we might release patches more, well, we will release patches more often. We won't wait for a massive update if there's game-breaking bugs. We will patch the game as it goes just to make sure it's always playable and people always able to have fun and not have to wait for a huge update just for a small patch. But big updates, it really just depends on our team at that point in time and how fast we can get things out. At the moment, things are going really quick, and our development team is quite big. We've got about 17 people. So at the moment, things are going really well, and the updates are pretty much coming out. If we look at it at how things are now, updates are pretty much coming out monthly. You can read the dev blog on our Discord. Every month we put out a dev blog, and you can see the amount of changes that come with every month, and you can kind of judge from that.
yeah. Actually,
But yeah,
that's
it's kind of it's a bit hard to tell in the future how things will be there.
yeah, that's a good point. I'll do bring up. So if people want to support your games, if you want to plug in your Steam page and the Discord
Yeah.
and I guess Patreon or whatever, like go ahead. So
Yeah. I mean, I'll send you the links if you want to put it in. But basically, we do have
just send it in. I'll take them.
we do have the Discord where people will be able to join and kind of watch us develop, which is the most important place. You can watch us develop, and we'll often ask questions to the community to see what you guys think, and we'll run polls and that kind of thing. We get a lot of ideas that the players suggest from the Discord itself, which is something that we want to continue doing throughout development, making sure that we hear the community and what they think of certain things and change things so that, I mean, at the end of the day, we all want to play this together and we all want to have a good time. So a lot of our ideas have actually come from the community and we'll continue for it to be that way. But other than that, on the Discord, you can also find our Steam page in the links area, which is called social links. You can find our Steam page there, which you can go wishlist the game right now on Steam already, so that when it comes out, you'll be notified and any updates will be on there as well. And not only that, but if you do want to play the tech demo, which is this area, you'll be able to play in this area as the Earcock area, eventually the Rhinoceros, you'll be able to play as a tribal. You can become a Patreon, which will be on our Patreon, which is also in the links area, the social links area. And you can join as a Patreon. I think the minimum you have to be is a sub adult tier, and you'll be able to have access to the tech demo, which you'll be able to play with content creators like Poutine and other Patreons.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of content creators already. I think.
Oh yeah,
Quite a
hell,
few.
we have 20 plus, I'm sure, at
Yeah.
this point.
Well, I'll definitely be testing it out.
Yeah. So if you want to play alongside them, you can get access through the Patreon.
And for the tech demo, you're gonna have a single server, or you're gonna have.
Yeah. So for the tech demo, it depends. We might have a couple servers for some in EU, some in NA, but I don't know if it'll be for the first update for the tech demo. I don't think so. We are busy organizing with another company to have some servers, but there's a lot of paperwork and stuff that goes into that. So I don't think it'll be for the first update for the tech demo, but it will likely happen after an update or two in the tech demo. Because as I said, the tech demo will constantly be updated up until the early access release.
So
And
for
also something I want to mention for the tech demo is once you pay for the Patreon once, just because you stop paying doesn't mean you lose access. You will keep that save, or you will keep the copy.
So the way it works, like let's say I mean, obviously I already have access to it, but if I will be like somebody in the stream right now, I get the Patreon, the proper tier that has the tech demo, and then I get a Steam key or something, and then once the game is in early access, I get a new key, or this gets converted to the full game essentially.
The key that you will have is actually the main game's key, so you'll have the key for the game.
Oh, okay. Well,
once the game comes out to early access,
okay,
you won't have to pay extra.
Okay, that's good. So that's a early access.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like a very early access.
Because the tech demo is already distributed on Steam essentially, so you'll be yeah. Okay.
Correct. Yeah. That'll be on the main build, so people will have full access to the game once it comes out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then sounds pretty good. I'm looking quickly if there's. Well, the cost, I guess, we'll know when it comes out.
Yeah, I mean the costs will likely be very similar to other games out there. It'll probably be between 10 to 20, and will increase as the game progresses, pretty much.
Okay.
Up to a certain cap.
Oh. Okay then. Well, I think from my end, I think that covers pretty much all the questions I had for now. Yeah.
Sweet.
So
I mean, I'm sure a lot of more questions will come by as you play the game and as you stream it or make some content for it. And we can definitely have more streams like this as well. It's always fun.
Yeah, definitely. We can do a bit the follow up and what's coming. If you want to showcase some little sneak peeks about stuff in development that is not yet on the tech demo. By the time I guess we do the next one, probably the tech demo will be out. So I guess yeah, sounds good then.
Yeah, the tech demo should be out very, very soon. So it'll probably be out by then, and then we can all play together.
Awesome then. Okay then, so I guess we'll leave it at that, and I'll just close the stream, just do a little outro, and I'll leave you for now. Alright, thanks.
Perfect. Alright.
Ciao.
Cheers, man. And cheers, guys.
So, let me just do that. There we go. Alright, guys. Well, I guess that covers it. So, we have another interesting game coming up in the very small niche of dino survival games, so something happening for once. Oh, there we are. Yeah, so don't forget, these streams are always sponsored by Gportal. My streams, I mean, which are the providers of my IL server also. So, and I've been using their service for years now. I'm pretty happy with them. So if you want 10% off, normally there's let me double check. Yeah, there's a 10% off link in the description. So for any game server rental, probably Echoes of Extinction in the future also. They support pretty much every dedicated server out there. So if you want to start a Minecraft server, Isle server, Valheim server, they have it all 10% off. Link is in the description. And I think let me check again. I missed something. I mean, I missed a lot of chat because I was not paying too much attention to the chat. I'm not gonna lie. Yep. Thanks, Monstrous. Remember to sub, big man. Yeah. So definitely, if you want to encourage them, wish them I don't know how you say it, wish list them on Steam. That's for sure, because it will definitely help them show off. The more people wish to list them, the more they will show up on Steam in the algorithm, which is always a good thing when you're a small indie dev, starting a new studio and everything, so they need help. And yeah, and if you want to pull the trigger, and you can always get access to the future tech demo in a week or two from now, by getting a Patreon tier. Yeah, but some people will prefer also to wait and see. Up to you. There's no bad answer here. But in any case, wish listing on Steam definitely doesn't hurt anybody. And you'll get their devlog updates, which I guess there will be one in a few days now. We're with 23rd? No, next week. Buying the game as soon as it's out. That's a spirit. Gonna be fun. All right. Well, thank you everybody. So I'll leave you there, and remember to like and subscribe. And have a good one. Thank you. Bye.